This upcoming school year, most Texas students won't be allowed to use their cell phones during the school day.
My students crashed out hard today.
I don't care. I'm bringing my phone to school.
How do you feel about that? Like, are you okay with little Johnny going to school with no phone, no access?
I show the stories, media lacks. That's why you mad. Click that reacts.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another video. I am Click That Reacts. And today we got a little bit more of a fun and family oriented story for you guys today. That's right. It's called Back to School Fun. So 31 states have now issued a interesting law, and quite a few people are outspoken and vocal about it. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Give this video a like so you see more content like this. And don't forget to go ahead and turn on that notification bell so you never miss an upload from me. All right, so the first clip I have for us here today to take a look at comes out of way of Texas. And let's go ahead and see how they explain what the rules are, what they mean, and what kind of disciplinary actions the students could be facing for breaking said rules.
This upcoming school year, most Texas students won't be allowed to use their cell phones during the school day.
It's part of a new state law, and now school districts across the state have to figure out ways to roll out their new policies. Our Nabil Ramadna shows us what some local districts will be doing.
Surrounded by teachers, students, and lawmakers, Governor Greg Abbott signed House Bill 1481 during a ceremonial signing, the law making classrooms a phone-free zone.
If we're going to be number one, it's going to require the undivided attention of our students in the classroom.
The law bans cell phones, smartwatches, and gaming devices, as well as other digital communication devices. Local districts will now have to come up with a plan on how to enforce the new rules.
The law is the law. We have to obey the law, and the law pretty much said that students cannot have their cell phones or use their phones during the instructional day.
In Round Rock ISD, students can bring their phones to school.
However, during the school day, we are asking our students really to keep their phones either in their pockets or out of sight. So if they have backpacks, put in their backpacks and not to use it during the school day.
Over in Pflugerville ISD, a similar approach.
We're going to take a little bit more relaxed approach, and we're going to say, we don't want to see it, but you can keep it on your person. You can put it in your pocket if you want to. We just don't want to see it.
Abbott says each school district will have the chance to decide their approach.
It gives, however, school districts flexibility to establish policies that meet the unique needs of their particular district.
In Liberty Hill ISD, they sent out notifications to parents to inform them about the changes. While some parents are on board with the move, there are some that have concerns.
Yeah, I would say the more concern has been like, I'm used to contacting my child during the day about maybe practice or something has changed, or the other part of about safety. If something were to happen, how do I get a hold of my child, or how do I know that my kid's safe?
Manor ISD says there will be a learning curve, but education is key early on.
And also talking to teachers about how to talk to kids. Inevitably, some students going to pull out their phone, and so how do you talk to students that, hey, we can't do that anymore, and then how do we react to that?
Nabil Ramadna, KXAN News.
All right, so you've seen that. You heard that. So it seems like the teachers are on different sides about this subject here. Me personally, we didn't have phones when I was growing up in school, and most of us turned out just fine. Crime rates were a bit lower, kidnappings were lower, and we really didn't need cell phones for any kind of safety concerns, right? There's plenty of staff at the school that can go ahead and handle any kind of safety concern for us. And if your child is in any kind of immediate danger, injury, or anything like that, usually they go ahead and they reach out to the parents. But also it seems like each school district or each state is able to handle it or enforce these rules independently on how they see fit, with some schools giving kids multiple infractions before they finally decide to start taking disciplinary actions. Some schools are requiring kids to keep their phones in their backpacks, while some are requiring them to put them in these little pouches, which it kind of seems like only the teachers have the key to. Interesting. What do you guys think about those set of rules here? Do you think they're going to work? Me personally, I just think as long as the rule is there and the rule is enforced, that's all that should be needed. People just need to simply enforce the rules that are already in place. I don't think we need any extra steps or extra measures in order for those schools to work efficiently. The students should just simply follow the rules, and that should be the end of it. But I have another interesting clip here for you. In this next clip that I have for you, I believe this guy is a teacher. Well, it'll just be interesting to get a teacher's perspective about the situation. So let's go ahead, let's flip over to his TikTok, and let's see how this teacher is saying that his kids or his classroom responded to the new rule changes that are going to be taking effect really soon.
My students crashed out hard today, right? We have a new cell phone policy that is rolling out next week. Today, we prepped them for that. That's not the part they had a problem with, right? They kind of understood the reason behind it. They don't like it, but they understood. What made them lose their ever-loving mind was the consequences if they can't follow the freaking rules. This is where they flipped their lid. ISS in some sort of in-school suspension, ranging from an hour to all day, depending on how extreme this situation has gotten, or 2-hour detention after school on Friday. The disdain and anger in them when I told them what would happen if they can't follow this rule 5 or 6 times. There were kids getting up, that's gotta be illegal. I would rather die than have 2 hours of my Friday taken away. What if we just all don't follow the rules? They can't give us all detention. Monday's gonna come, we enforce this. I really hope they simmer down. Pray for me.
I'll keep you in my prayers, Mr. Science teacher. But he does raise an interesting point, and so did his class. What if the whole school just decides, hey, we're not going to follow this rule? What are you going to do? Kick us all out? You're going to give us all detention? What is the next course of action then? And also, it seems like these kids are going to get multiple, way too many chances, in my opinion, to go ahead and follow the rule. And even at that point, it seems like these disciplinary actions are very minor. Now, once again, in my opinion, I do believe that cell phones can be a little bad if you're not monitoring what it is, the kind of content that you are receiving, and the kind of information that you are soaking in and letting pour into you. Previous generations, before mine, were very good with their hands, skilled labor. And they also had very good critical thinking skills. I would have to say that maybe our critical thinking skills as a human race, all across the board, especially the ones here in America that are so addicted to their screen time, I would have to say their critical thinking skills have somewhat plummeted, unable to figure out some of the simplest tasks, unable to figure out things on their own, just simply resorting to ChatGPT or one of the other many AIs that are out there, Gemini, Grok, Meta, and so forth, rather than simply sitting down, looking at the problem or the situation, and simply being able to figure it out for themselves. They turn to their phones. But I have another interesting video here for you. Let's see what one of the students have to say about this.
I don't care. I'm bringing my phone to school. Because tell me why in my state they voted and won to ban phones at school. And I don't care, baby. My phone, y'all gonna be sitting up there. I'm sitting up there in y'all face, typing on my phone, typing away, and scrolling on TikTok. Because ain't no way I can't have my phone in school. It's too many people to not have my phone in school. Like, what if an emergency happened? I get y'all so y'all can use the teachers and go to the office. But if somebody is actively, then I'm calling my mama. What you talking about? I'm jumping out the window and I'm calling my mama to come get me. Cause y'all must be out of your rabbit old mind, or y'all don't think that I'm having my phone in school. And I gets down. I don't play. If I can't have my phone, guess what? I'm having my iPad that has service on it. And what about it? What you gonna do? Take it? You ain't pay for it unless you start paying my phone, but you can't touch this phone. Cause baby, ain't no teacher even dare to try to take my phone. They know how I get down. Like, you ain't pay this phone bill. You don't pay none on this phone. You don't pay on this phone. You don't pay for this phone. You ain't pay for this phone. My grandma did. So if you want this phone took, call my grandma. And y'all, this is not no sewing. This is all my hair. Period. Y'all, my hair is long, like, bro. If I can grab my hair is long, bro.
If you're able to reach that hair there, then yes, it is quite long. But all jokes aside, maybe she does raise a good point. What do you guys think? What if there is an active shooter? Is it important that each individual kid in that school is able to have their cell phones on handy just in case, in extreme rare situations, an active shooter does arise? Maybe one of the kids' parents are military combat servicemen who will be able to show up on scene before the police get there and subdue the shooter. But what do you guys happen to think about that? And then she also goes on to say, you didn't pay for this phone. You didn't pay for my phone bill. You didn't pay for my iPad or my tablet. Well, although those might be valid points, you also did not pay for the facility that is giving you your education. You didn't pay for the grounds. You don't pay the rent. You don't pay the light bill. You don't pay for any of those things. So what makes you think that you get to make or defy the rules that that facility has set in place when you did not pay for any of it, nor did you help lay a single brick? But yet you think you have the entitlement to defy any of the rules that that establishment has in place. All right. What do you guys think about that? But I also have another interesting clip where another student is raising some more valid concerns. Let's take a listen on what she has to say.
Teachers in the state of Texas, with this new no cell phone policy that is now going to be implemented during this school year, a lot of students are concerned about whether or not they will be able to listen to music. I know that for some students on the Chromebooks or the school issued laptops, you can listen to music, but then certain things are banned. So what is your plan as a teacher when it comes to music? I know for me, I typically play soothing or calming music throughout the day in all of my classes. But for students who prefer to listen to something different, are you considering having alternative options for music in the classroom in place of them not being able to have their cell phones?
So you heard her concern there. Is that a valid argument? Should students be able to listen to soothing music with a AirPod or headphones on while the teacher is giving his seminar or her, while you're in class? I don't even know any too many workplaces that allow that. I mean, I have seen employees that do it anyway, but for the most part, it's considered a safety hazard, right? You got your AirPods in or your headphones on, and a lot of these things have like noise canceling features to where you don't really hear the outside too much. But maybe the soothing music does help people relax, calm down, focus. There has been case studies that show that the right kind of music can change or enact the behavior, including relaxation, increasing focus. I know sometimes me and my wife use soothing music to help us fall asleep. But what do you guys think about that? Do you listen to music in class or at work? Does it help you relax or focus? Interesting point. But now, let's go over to the parents. We have a parent who is concerned about her student not having a cell phone in class. So let's go ahead and go over to her video and see what she has to say about the situation.
So if you have kids in school right now, still, elementary, middle, high, and they're stopping phones from being in there, how do you feel about that? Like, are you okay with little Johnny going to school with no phone, no access? What are your thoughts?
Well, what are my thoughts? Well, me personally, I'm perfectly fine with this decision that the schools are making. I mean, I went through all of my school years without having to bring a phone to school. And even if we did bring a phone to school in my day, we were not allowed to pull it out at all. If the teacher simply seen it, they took it from you and you would get it back at the end of class. And me personally, I would not like the thought to think that my child is at school using any of these AIs to do her work for her. I want to know and I want to be assured of the fact that my child is completing this work herself, not using her phone, not using a AI or a chat GPT. I want her to have that sense of accomplishment and pride that she accomplished this on her own. But let's go ahead and flip to another school rule change that a different parent is bringing up. Let's go ahead and flip over to her video.
I don't know about you, but if my kid is sick, I'm not sending them to school, and I don't think you should either. But apparently, in the state of Ohio, they say doctor's excuses for children in school is not an excused absence. And now I am a strong believer, and I've always sat there and said, if your kid is snotty, sick, and just thrown up and going to give everybody else something, and everybody else is going to get sick, don't send their little butts to school. You keep them home so the whole school don't get sick. No, that's not the case. You have to send your kids to school now. If they're sick, throwing up, whatever, and the whole school's going to get sick, and everybody's going to be sick, and they're going to be in school. How are you going to learn if you're sick? I definitely am not sending my kid to school. For one, you can't trust teachers. Two, I don't want my kid bringing home and getting sick, and you could be sick across the road here, my kid will catch it already. I'm sorry. I'm just against public schools, and this was the icing on the cake for me that really determined, because my daughter does not turn 5 until January, so she can't even go to kindergarten now, this year coming up. She had to wait till next year anyway. But I am not sending her to public school. There is too many uh-uhs for me. So in the comments, how do you feel about sending your kid to public school and doctor's excuses not being a legitimate reason for them to miss school?
All right, so you heard that. Now, in my opinion, this parent does raise an interest and concern. I wasn't able to find a whole lot about this topic here or about this rule change. But what I did find is it seems like it's in Lawrence County, Ohio. Please correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section. And the law or the rule states that if a child is absent for more than 8 days, that's when more drastic measures can be taken, and even juvenile can be contacted. But now I'm pretty sure that maybe as a parent, if it's getting close to that 8-day mark, maybe you can take your kid back to the doctor and get an extension on that doctor's note. But like I said, I couldn't find a whole lot of information about this subject. So you guys, if you live in Ohio, Lawrence County, please comment down below so we can know. But you've seen all the information there. I tried to give you a little bit of context from both sides, the news, the teachers, the school district, even the students. What kind of conclusion did you come up with? What do you think about these new school changes? Are they good for the students? Are they good for the teachers? What kind of outcome do you think is going to be caused by these new rules? And as always, let me know down in the comment section of any other videos or concerns that you guys might have. I am Click That Reacts, and I will see you guys in the next one.